Hello, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Hello, Mutlu. Can I give you some advice for encouraging yourself to talk with confidence? Sure. Can you tell me a little bit more about this problem? Do you only have problems speaking with confidence in English, or do you have problems speaking with confidence in Turkish also? Hello, everyone. Hello, Jojo. Hello, Alward. Hello, Lemon. And Forget Me Not and C2. Hello, Jose. Hola. Hello, YC. Hello, Maria. Hello, Bob and Vincent. Good to see you again, Alward. I'm here. Good morning, Ella. So, Mudlu, I don't know if your problem is only speaking in English or just speaking in general, but the best way to think about language. Oh, here we go. Let's see. You said you stuck at level A2. You're reading books and watching series and learning new vocabulary, but when I speak, I can't use those information. Okay. So your problem is not really with confidence. Your problem is with confidence in the language. That's different. Confidence is being able to speak to people without worrying about what they think about you. But it sounds to me like your problem is confidence in the language itself. And the reason why you're stuck at level A2 is because you're not doing one very important thing. Language starts in the mind. So if you want to speak well, then you have to think well. If you're translating everything in English from Turkish, then you're not going to feel confident in your language. So what I would suggest is you need to start trying to learn how to think in English. So all the things that you're studying, when you read, when you watch series, when you learn new vocabulary, you have to use those in your mind every day. Okay? You cannot speak well or write well or read well or listen well if you don't think well. Okay? So that's the most important part of language learning is thinking. So if you need help with that, go to my YouTube channel right here. Go to my YouTube channel, and there's a 5-minute video there about how to think in English. All right? Jack, you sent me a message, but I didn't respond. Well, Jack, I have 66,000 followers. I get a lot of messages. I can't respond to all of them, although I'm looking here and I don't see your message. So here's what happens, Jack. Sometimes I've seen it. Well, I don't see it listed here. Okay, so what may have happened, Jack, is when I'm on my cell phone, I get messages on my cell phone. But when I do my voice rooms on my computer, the messages go to only my computer chat, not to my phone. So sometimes people send me a message on my computer chat and I don't see it, or I didn't get a chance to reply to it. So, what was your message? What did you have a question? Hello, Brock Chen. How are you? Hello, Ahmad. Good to see you. I'm fine. Blue, I teach whatever you want to learn. You want to learn English? Then I'm here to teach you English. Thank you for your compliment, Jack. And, you know, again, another thing, guys, I know you want to learn language quickly, and there are many people online who say you can learn how to be fluent in 6 months, but I'll be honest with you, that's just not true. That's just not true, okay? Nobody can be good at anything in 6 months. You just can't. I don't care what you are doing. I don't care who you are. If you're learning to draw, you can't be good in 6 months. If you're learning to play the piano, you can't be good in 6 months. If you're learning to sing, you can't be good in 6 months. If you're learning a new program, you can't be good in 6 months. Learning to do things well takes a lot of practice and time. And if you keep trying to say, oh, I still feel bad because I haven't gotten, well, time can't go any faster than it goes. You can practice a lot, and that's good. You should practice a lot. But some things just only come with some time. Okay? You need to reevaluate your idea of what practice is. Okay? You may think you're practicing enough, but you're not. Okay? Hello, Asad Ali. I'm fine. How are you? How can we use new information that you learned? Well, again, like I said, you need to go watch that video. There's a video I have with a system of 4 steps. It's a 5-minute video. It will teach you how to think in English using your new information that you learned. Okay? Amir says, is grammar important or not? A lot of people told me just to watch movies. Is that correct? Okay. No, that's not correct. You cannot learn proper English just by watching movies. When people ask me what's the best way to learn English, I tell them the best way to learn anything is every possible way. So that means, sure, movies are good, TV shows are good, but I want everything. I want books. I want apps. I want videos. I want YouTube. I want live streams and voice rooms. I want teachers and friends and family. I want anything that I can get to help me learn. That should be obvious. Get every tool you can to help you do that thing. Okay? Now, is grammar important is another question. That depends on your goals. Okay? If you're in school, grammar is important. If you're taking a test, grammar is important. Like the TOEFL test or the IELTS test, grammar is very important on those tests. If you're at work, probably grammar is important depending on your job. Okay? But if you're not at work and you're not at school and you're not taking a test, then no, grammar is not that important. Okay? Grammar makes language sound better, but it doesn't always make it. Grammar is not the most important thing. Communication is the most important thing. And communication can happen pretty well, actually, with pretty poor grammar. Okay? But you should continue to work on grammar to facilitate your language, which means make it better. Make your communication happen better. Okay? Good morning, Miguel. Hello. Hello, Flavia. Good to see you. Okay, let's see if somebody wants to come talk to me. Brock wants to come talk to me. Let's talk to Brock.
Hello.
Hello, Brock. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good this morning.
Yeah.
You're in
Okay.
China in what city?
I'm in China in Wenzhou City.
Wenzhou. Where is that? I'm not sure about that one.
It is very close to Fujian province.
Okay. All right. That
Yeah.
helps a little bit. Okay. So what
Yeah.
can I do
Because
for you today?
I maybe I just want to talk with you if you are available. Because just now I watched your live stream on YouTube, and now I come here. And
Okay.
last time, my first time to join a live stream was your live stream last year, last summer. Maybe you forget it. I
I
think.
think I remember you because I remember the name Brock. I do talk to a
Oh,
lot of
really?
people, but I just remember the name Brock. So yeah, I think I remember you.
Okay. 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 So I don't think I have a topic. I just want to talk with you for some time if it is okay.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. What would you like to talk about?
uh, anything.
Okay. Well, remind me, what do you do?
I'm doing international business, but just working in a company, and we import building materials from neighboring countries.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay. Import is actually one of my favorite words because it's related to the word important. Did you know that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Many people don't know that actually, but the word important, things that are important, why are they important? Because imports are the things your country needs. Exports are the things you have so you sell. But if you don't have those things, you need to buy them. So they are
oh,
important.
oh,
But a
yeah.
lot of people actually don't know that.
Before I watched somebody talking about the word port, uh, but I don't remember the details exactly. Just a little bit like what you said just now. Port is in the root of the some words, and for example,
Port is
port.
the word that means to carry, actually.
Yeah,
It can means to carry, and then one of the words port just means a door, right? So, a port, when you pull it as a ship for a port, that's a place where the ship can go. It's like the door to the country for the ships, right? Or in a boat, the holes that are windows, those are called portholes, okay? And then transport, right? That means trans means
port and
across,
export.
right? Important, import, all of those words mean to carry something across, right? So transport means trans means across and port means carry. So transportation is things that carry you across. Yeah.
Okay, okay, very good.
Yeah. Those
Yeah.
are all that's all part of etymology, which is one of my specialties. So, and it's actually a very useful way to build your vocabulary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last time I also remember that you talked about something about different accents. From then on, I started to try to do something to overcome uh, accents from different countries. Last time you said if you can't understand an accent, it is not the person, the other person's problem is your problem. So I remember that, and yeah,
That's
because
true. But
we can't.
I was just going to say it's I would say that I'll amend my answer. It's both persons' problem actually. But because for example, most of my students are foreign workers who work using English somehow in their job and they need to speak to people who are from America or from England or maybe they're from Germany or India but they use English as their language of communication. And so, yeah, I would say the most of the burden is on you to try to improve your pronunciation and your speaking to be more clear and be understood better. However, now I think that it's also important for the people on the other side, the native speakers or the other business component, they need to work on their accents too. So, for example, if you're talking about somebody from India or somebody from Germany, in that case, I think if English is not your native language, in that case, then I'll go with my original answer. That generally it's your problem to try to figure out how to listen to German English or
Yes,
Indian
I
English.
mean that.
Right.
I remember what you said is also about that. I mean, if there's a problem, the problem is from, for example, if I think I can't understand an accent, it is not that people's accent. That people's problem is my
Right.
problem because I have to improve my
That's right.
listening and my habits.
That's right. Yeah. However, now I actually also want to start to try to see. I'm actually going to see if I can start another side business where I want to try to talk to the American companies or the English speaking component of the companies. So if you're doing business with some people in America, sometimes they need to learn how to slow down their speech, speak more clearly, and use simple language. And a lot of them just don't care and they don't think about it. And I think that they need to start paying attention to it. If you want to do business with a country that's not an English-speaking country, then you need to learn how to speak well so they can understand you. But I have seen it so many times where, you know, specifically American companies, where the business people in those companies, they don't think about their language at all, and it's a problem. And they're putting all of the pressure on the foreign component to try to improve their listening and improve their understanding. But it's not just your problem. It should be, if you're a native speaker of English, you need to learn how to speak clearly so people can hear you and understand you, especially if you're dealing with foreign business people, you know, foreign workers. So, yeah. But yeah, to get back to what you were saying, if you're talking to somebody from India or from Germany, then yeah, I think mostly you need to work on trying to learn how to hear their accent better. And I don't know if you remember my advice. Do you remember my advice about that?
I think I don't remember, but I remember some other advices.
Well, my advice about this is just if you can, record the calls. Record the calls on video or on audio. Get permission. You know, ask them, hey, would you mind if I record our calls for two reasons? One reason is because it will give me a chance to practice listening to your English better so that I can improve my listening skills with your voice. And the second reason is because English is not my first language. So recording the calls is like a safeguard just in case there's any miscommunication. If there is a miscommunication and somebody's upset about something, you can go check the call and see where the miscommunication happened. So there's two good reasons why you should record calls if you're dealing with any English in business with another country.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you listen to the video, or if you listen to the video call or the audio call, you're listening to the specific person you need to listen to, not just some other guy in India. You know, if it's an Indian worker, you could go on YouTube and listen to lots of people who have, you know, Indian accents who speak English, and that might be kind of helpful. But if you listen to the specific guy you work with, that's a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think from then on, last time I talked with you, I also joined many other people's live stream, and sometimes I often join some non-native speakers live stream, you know, to listen to their accent, and I think it is much better from that time until now.
Good.
So yeah. Yeah. And I also think maybe some people from Japan, their accents may be also a little hard for us.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, it depends on the person, of course, but both Chinese and Japanese, both the language uses a pretty small mouth when you speak. Like the mouth positions for most of Chinese and Japanese, it's a small mouth. And so English, especially American English, if you want it to be clear, then you need to use a big mouth. That's why my English is clear. So that's one of the most important tips that I give anybody from China or from Japan or from Korea or from India. All of those, and Vietnam too. Those languages all use a fairly small mouth when they speak. A lot of the East Asian languages, they almost all use a small mouth when they speak. And so when they speak English, their mouth is still in a small position. and that's
Yeah,
why they have the accent. Yeah, and
yeah,
that makes it difficult to understand. Yeah.
because of their local language.
Right, that's right. It's just that's what accent is, to be honest. Accent is all about mouth movement and mouth position. And when you change to a new language, you have to understand that that language has new mouth positions and new mouth movements that you have to change to sound like that language. You can't just continue to use the same mouth positions that you use for your language in a new language. That doesn't work, right? So just like with when I learned Chinese, there were a lot of things that I had to really practice to try to get the sounds correctly, and they're subtle. Sometimes they're very subtle, especially because Chinese, again, it's a small mouth language, so sometimes the movements might just be slightly different, very slightly different, but it makes a big difference in the tone and the sound of the language. So again, yeah, mouth position is important, everybody, and analyzing language to find the right mouth position is good. And it's why you should try to find people to shadow who have a big mouth when they speak, because it's easier for you to see the proper way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, Mark, do you still always speak Chinese now,
Do I
recently?
do I always speak it? I speak it pretty often. I often use it in my lessons. You know, there are some times when it's just easier to explain something in Chinese than it is to say it in English, you know?
Oh,
So, yeah. And there are a few students I have who they don't have that great of English. So sometimes I have to use a lot of Chinese during the lesson. And it's, you know, I always tell them, 我觉得你觉得我的中文有一点奇怪，因为我自己学中文，所以有时候我说奇怪的奇怪的中文，因为就是我的脑，我的脑，我觉得我觉得你可以说这个，可是有可能就是不一样，你说什么？听得懂吗？ Yeah.
听得懂。
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like a lot of my Chinese, it might not be the way a native speaker would say it, right? But it's just me using Chinese in my mind. And so I know the vocabulary and the grammar pretty well. So, but I just might not know exactly the way a Chinese person would say it natively. But it's good enough that they can understand exactly what I mean. Yeah.
Just maybe now we are speaking English, and it's also the same as you do. We
Right.
sometimes, yeah, yeah,
That's
maybe we
exactly
see
right.
some.
Yeah, it might
Okay.
not be exactly perfect, but it's good enough that I can understand what you mean. Yeah. Yeah. So, but I like to practice my Chinese. I often use it when I'm teaching in my grammar book. It's really good practice during reading exercises in my grammar book. They often, you know, I'll ask them, well, what does this mean in Chinese? And they'll tell me in Chinese so that I know, like, they know the vocabulary words correctly. And that's good because it helps me review vocabulary in my mind. You know, as I'm teaching them, I'm remembering, you know, oh, yeah, this word is this and this word is this. And, you know, yeah, so it's good for me. And I also like to practice listening to Chinese because that's the one thing that I don't have a lot of opportunity to do here. To practice my Chinese, I generally practice it just by thinking. You know, I
Yeah,
just try to
last time
think in Chinese.
you also told me that if we don't have English speaking environment and we need to think in English every day when for our daily life,
Yeah,
we can think everything in front of us and
that's
beside us
exactly right.
everything
Yeah,
English.
that's
As
exactly
you
right.
remember
That's one of the most important lessons that I teach, which is just that all language starts in the mind, and if you want to feel confident about using your language, you can't feel like you have to translate everything in your mind every time you want to use it. You will never feel confident that way. But if you just start using, when you learn a new sentence, you need to figure out how you can use that sentence in your mind. And that's one of the reasons why books are not always the best way to gain new vocabulary or sentences, because books are not always going to teach you practical language. But if you just look around your room and say, do I know how to say that? Do I know how to say that? Do I know how to say that? And if you don't, there's your homework. And that's practical stuff that you can use every day, because it's the world you live in, right? Sometimes the books, they teach you things like, I have 4 pencils and a backpack. And it's like, that's great if you're 9 and you're in school, but like you're not 9 and you're not in school anymore. So you need to know about everyday practical language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good advice.
Yeah. Again, it's just, I always find it to be so amusing how none of the books mention it. When you're learning any languages, there are no books that talk about thinking. And I do know why. It's because thinking is not something you can test.
Yes.
That's the only reason why they don't mention it, is because in school, how do you test if somebody can think in English or think in Chinese or think in German? You can't test for that. But they should be telling you that every single thing you learn in reading, writing, listening, and speaking should be going into your mind, and you should be trying to find a way to make it comfortable living in there. So if you learn how to say ni hao, then the first day that you learn that, you should be walking around, and every person you see in your mind, you should be thinking ni hao, ni hao, ni hao, just to get it to live there, so you can remember that's the thing to say when you want to say hello. That you don't have to find like sometimes if you don't use it, it's kind of like, I tell people it's like they put their English in a closet. And then, it's under all kinds of stuff in the closet. Then when you need to use it, you got to go find it in the closet and get it out. And it's not ready, But if you use it by thinking regularly, then, yeah, you're ready to use it. That's why, again, my Chinese is not perfect, but I can pull it out when I need to usually. And it's comfortable because I don't worry, because I don't have to think, oh, like what did that book say? What did that book say? I can't remember what the book said. No, just use it in your head regularly. Yeah, that's the most important part. And I always find it amusing when people say that you should move to another country to try to get better at the language. Who can do that? Who can do that? So few people can do that, but you can think. That's right. You can think wherever you are, though. You don't have to move to another country if you just start learning how to think in that language regularly. And it's not as hard as people think. You just need to come up with a system, which I did.
Yeah. Moving to another country, to a native English speaking country is important, but it is not. Not everybody has that opportunity, so
Right.
it is not practical.
That's right. Yeah, very few people. I would say probably less than 5% of people will get
Yes.
that opportunity. So the rest of those people, 95%, you got to learn how to think in English in your daily life wherever you live.
Yeah, just pretend you have that environment.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Just start with simple things. Simple thing. That's the other thing that is kind of shocking, is that we have simple thoughts all day. We have simple thoughts all day. And it doesn't really matter what language you're speaking. You can have simple thoughts in any language very easily. If you know how to say I'm hungry, then think I'm hungry. Use that. If you know how to say I'm tired, then think I'm tired. That's not hard. That's easy. And it's good practice. And it gets your mind feeling like it has ability to switch to that language, which is a big part of it. So simple language is the most important part. I call it baby English. You have to start with baby English. Babies think about what they feel. I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm tired, I'm hungry. Babies think about what they want, what they need, what they like, what they don't like. Those are very easy things to do in any language. So now, this system that I have, I've only used it for learning Chinese, but I'm very certain now that I could apply this to any other language and I could do well pretty quickly because now I understand the fundamental importance of thinking in a language. When I learned German in high school for 3 years, I can't remember any of it almost now, very, very little. And it's because, again, they never instilled anything about thinking. They didn't mention it at all, not once. But if I were to go back and do it again, now I know, okay, every little thing that I learn, I have to try to find a way to integrate it into my actual life. And I would try to cater my learning more towards practical language, which is something the other books don't do. That's another tip I give people is actually one of the best books you can get if you want to learn a new language. Don't buy like a book one, like German book one or French book one. Buy a travel phrase book. A travel phrase book for that language, because travel phrase books are designed to show you practical language that you can learn very quickly. And they don't focus on the grammar. They focus on, well, you're going to be in a restaurant, so you'll need to say these things in a restaurant. Or if you want to go to the bathroom, then this is what you say. Or, you know, if you want to introduce yourself, then this is how you introduce yourself. But they don't focus on like, you know, grammar exercises and all this kind of stuff. You know, they just try to give you practical language that you can use for a week or two when you go on vacation. But if you just take that book and treat it differently, don't treat it like it's a temporary book for 2 weeks. Study it. Like actually learn the stuff in there over a long time. For like 1 year, study a travel phrase book. You'll do pretty well with your language pretty quickly. And then after that, you can get a beginning German book or beginning French book or whatever and start with the grammar from there. And you'll feel like it's a lot more interesting and fun, and you've already got a practical usage of some of the language, and now the grammar will just help make it more sense. Make it make more sense, I should say. Okay?
Okay.
Nora said, what's a traveling Facebook? No. Traveling phrase book. Phrase book, Nora. Yeah, a phrase book. So, Nora, if you want to go to Germany, you can buy a little book that has basic German in it, basic German phrases in it, okay? And you can get that for any language. They have them for nearly every language now. I have probably 6 or 7 of them here, you know, for German and French and Spanish and Italian, and they're great. I just like to look through them sometimes and just, you know, pick up a few things. Yeah. So, anyway. Is it cold there, Brock?
Actually, it's not very cold, but maybe I stay in the office for a day and I did not go out, so maybe the temperature is a little different from the outside.
I
So
understand.
yeah,
I understand.
yeah,
So you're still in the office now.
yeah.
Okay. It's
If
late.
I were at home, I may have no chance to talk with you because I have a kid and he will go, always wants to play with me.
Yeah, I understand that. How old is your kid?
5 years old.
Okay. All right. And is he learning English? Or she? He or she?
He, yeah, he actually sometimes I will let him watch some videos, and he likes reading very much. And but I do not always teach him English because I sometimes afraid of my pronunciation, and maybe sometimes there will be many mistakes. So if I
Don't worry about it.
no problem,
No, don't worry about
no
it.
problem.
Yeah, no. Some English is better than no English. And more importantly,
Uh,
if he sees that it's important to you and that you use it, then he will pick it up, especially at that age. At that age, kids are like a sponge. They listen to whatever they hear around them and they repeat it. So you should do the same idea that I was just saying about using baby English. So when you tell him, when you say to him, 你肚子饿吗? You can say, are you hungry? Both.
okay.
Both of them. Both. Say Chinese and English. And eventually he'll start to connect those things together a little bit, 你喜欢吗? Do you like it? Just simple things like that. Just little simple things that you can use anytime with him. And just right now, you don't have to push it by only using English with him, but you can try to connect those things together. And if he hears it enough, if he hears that phrase in English and in Chinese together, then he'll pick up on that a little bit. Okay. And maybe, you can play a game with them after you've been doing it for a while. You can play a game with them. And, if he wants a treat or something, and he can say, well, yeah. And you can say, 英文怎么说? Like whatever. Hold it up and just ask him, do you remember how to say it in English? Something like that. But yeah, don't worry about that. That's a silly thing to worry about. That's very common. I saw that in China a lot. They also do that with us about Chinese too. When I was in Taiwan, they never wanted me to use Chinese at all in front of the kids. And of course, it's because my Chinese is terrible, but they're missing something very important about it. If the kids see that I want to learn another language and that I'm trying to challenge myself, then that's good for them to see that it's both ways.
Encourage them.
Yeah, that's right. Right. That's exactly right. Yeah. So, and it's also one of those things where occasionally I would make my students teach me something in Chinese with English. And that's great practice for them to be able to explain something to me in English about Chinese is really good practice. So sometimes these things, we have a saying where we say, don't, what's the right saying? Hold on, let me think about my words. Don't neglect good just because it's not perfect. Good is still good. So, don't worry about it, man. No, and your English is pretty good. Okay?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely don't worry about that at all. No. If you want him to have great English, then yeah, you should start using it as soon as possible. And especially at that age, 5 that's an age where they pick up everything very quickly, especially languages.
Yeah. Actually, he listens a lot of English and videos, but seldom speak, just as I do, maybe.
Okay, well then, like I said, the more he sees you doing it,
Okay.
yeah. And you can
Okay.
watch the video with him and you can speak English a little bit during the video. And sometimes I encourage my students, if they have families, to choose one night and do like an English only dinner or something, for like 1 hour, just English only, just practice English around the family. And again, you're showing your children that it's important to you. So then that makes it important to them. If you never use English and you know English, then they're going to feel that they can do that too.
Yeah.
So, Brock, I'm going to let you go and see if I can get to talk to some other people here. But it was good to see you again, and thank you for coming back and talking with me again. You're
very
doing
much.
great.
Thank you.
You're doing great. I hope my tips have been helpful for you.
Yes, very helpful.
Great.
Yeah.
And come back and see me again, okay? And before I forget, go to my new website too. I've got a new website that I just started recently. It's called AFIECEnglish.com. I put it here in the chat. AFIEC, it means a friend in every corner. A friend in every corner English.com. That's my new website. So sign up on my new website, subscribe, and I'll have your email so I can send you emails about what I'm doing. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you, Brock. I'll see you next time, okay?
Have a great day.
Take care, my friend.
Okay.
All right. Jack, I see you want to talk to me. I know there's a lot of people want to talk to me. Just give me a second here. Let me catch up with some comments here. All right. Justin, I speak English and I speak Chinese, and I also know a little bit about a bunch of other languages. So I know a lot about like, let's say I know a bit about Latin, I know a bit about German and French and Italian and Spanish and Arabic and a few words in Russian and a few words in Japanese and a few words, and I know a few words in a bunch of languages. Probably 12 or 13, something like that. Let's see. Thank you, Harper. That's nice of you to say. And Jack, I'll get you up here in just 1 second. Hello, Kamaran. What's the difference between few and little? Sometimes nothing, but it depends on the thing you're trying to describe. One moment. So we use little with singular uncountable nouns, right? So I want a little milk. I want a little water, right? Those are uncountable nouns, right? But we use few with plural countable nouns, right? So if I said, give me a few dollars, or give me a few coins, or give me a few nuts, those are countable, right? So little is often used for uncountable things, and few is used for countable things, okay? And much versus many, Salah. There's actually a post I have about that, but let me give you this here. Much is used to describe mass nouns or non-count nouns like juice or rice or patience or happiness, right? So let's say, for example, the party was so much fun. Fun is not countable. It's like a, it gives me so much happiness. Happiness is not countable that way. I didn't get much sleep. Sleep is not countable. You can't say I had 4 sleeps, right? How much money do you have? Money itself is not countable when the word money, okay? But many is used to talk about countable things, right? So she has many friends. There aren't many people here. How many cars do you own? Okay, so many is for countable nouns, much is for uncountable nouns. All right, and Layla wants to talk to me also. Okay, Jack, let's get Jack up here. Where's Jack? There's Jack. Hello, Jack.
Hello?
Hello, Jack. How are you?
I'm good. What about you?
I'm pretty good today. Thank you for being patient. What can I do for you today? You're in Turkey, right? Are you in Ankara or are you in Istanbul or where?
I'm in Hatay.
Hatay, where is that?
Yes. Have you ever heard about the earthquake in Turkey?
I have.
Yes, it's there.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's terrible. I hope everything's getting better. I'm trying to remember exactly where that is. Let's see.
That was in Kahramanmaraş, but Hatay is near Kahramanmaraş.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, I see it here. Okay. All right. And what can I do for you today, my friend?
Actually, in the future, I want to study abroad, so I just want to ask that, how can I get accepted to university, and what do they consider in university admission?
Ooh, that's a hard one. That depends on the university. Because it doesn't necessarily just have to do with your English. It has to do with your studies, and it has to do with your activities and your extracurricular activities and your goals and your plans. universities want to see somebody that has a direction. They have a direction in life. That's what universities want to see more than anything, right? Now, a lot of students, they don't have a direction yet. How old are you, Jack?
I'm 15 years old.
Okay, right. So you don't have a direction probably yet, and that's okay. At 15, I didn't have a direction yet. I had no idea what I want. But
Yeah.
they want to have some idea that you have goals, you have dreams, you have plans, things that you intend to do. Now, Jack, one of the quotes I like to say sometimes is, if you want to make God laugh, make a plan. because here's what I've experienced, Jack. Whatever plans you make in life, they're not going to go exactly what you like you think they're going to go. And so you're going to think, oh, I want to go this way, but life is going to take you that way, or
Yes.
this way, right? So when I was 15 years old, you know what I wanted to be more than anything in the world?
What?
A drummer.
Ah.
I'm a drummer. I am a drummer. I have more than one job, so I am still a drummer. And I went to school for it even, and I played in bands for 20 some years, doing music all over the city and the country. However, I also became a drum teacher, and I found out I really liked teaching, right? I started teaching when I was 18, and then one time, I guess I was about 32 years old, I was really burnt out with music and playing drums, and I just wanted to change. So I decided to go visit my friend in Taiwan who was teaching English there. And he said, hey, come sleep on my couch and you can get a job at the kindergarten and teach English for a little bit and try something different. And I did, and I liked it. And I found out that I'm a good teacher. And so, I was a good teacher in drumming. I knew that, but I didn't know if I'd be a good teacher in English. But teaching is teaching is teaching is teaching. So, and I've also done work in marketing that I didn't expect to do. And I'm writing a book now. I didn't expect that to happen. I'm a live streamer now. I didn't expect that to happen either. So make plans, but just be aware that life is like jazz, not like classical music. There's a lot of improvisation. Okay, you gotta make a plan and then be prepared to improvise around that plan because things are not going to go quite like you think they're going to go, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And you'll be really disappointed if you make a bunch of plans that you think, oh, I'm supposed to do this and it didn't work out like that. Then that's okay. Don't get disappointed by it. Take whatever opportunities came to you and make something with those. Okay, so so in terms of universities, what do they want? They want to see somebody who's excited about learning.
Yeah. It's really
Passion
important.
is really important. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're not interested in learning, then why go? And you'd be surprised. There are a lot of students who just aren't interested in learning. Not really. They're interested in going there because they think they have to.
I don't think have to, but I'm really interested about science, and I want to be in the future a doctor, inshallah, and that's my dream.
Okay.
Yes, so I
Okay.
want to really have a strong education.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, to be a doctor, you have to. What I would say is, you're going to need a lot of science. Your English is quite good, so that's a good start. Your English is quite good. You're going to need a lot of science. I would recommend, Jack, because your English is so good at your age, you should start looking into something called etymology.
Etymology. What does that mean?
It means the history of where words come from and how they've changed over time. And 60% of English words come from Latin or Greek. And almost every medical word comes from Latin or Greek. So if you learn a little bit about, for example, what does pneumo mean? like
Pneumo.
pneumonia.
I have never heard about it.
You know pneumonia, right?
No?
Pneumonia is a it's a sickness of the lungs. Pneumo means lungs,
Huh.
right? Or cardio. Do you know what a cardiac arrest is? A cardiac arrest means a heart attack.
Yes.
Cardio means heart.
Yeah, I get it.
So if you see a word that has cardio in it, it means heart something, right?
Yeah.
This is etymology.
Yeah.
All of
I get
those words come from Latin or Greek. So if you learn a bit about that, it can build your vocabulary a lot, and it can really help you when you're reading all the medical books and seeing the new medical words. You can know what they mean just by looking at the parts of them.
Yes, I get it.
Yeah,
But-
it's a very useful tool. The first language that I studied when I was about your age was Latin.
Latin.
I did 1 year of Latin, and I failed because it's a terribly hard language. But I learned this trick, so I can't speak Latin at all, and nobody can. Like, that's why it's a dead language. But it's the base language for English and for Spanish and Italian and French and Romanian and Portuguese. So I also can look at Spanish and Italian and French and Portuguese and Romanian, and I can sometimes know a little bit about those words too because I know Latin.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. Yeah. So check that out. And then understand that universities don't just want to see your grades, they want to see a complete person. So that means you have to have extracurricular activities of some kind. They want to see that you read. They want to see that you have interests outside of school. They want to see that you are in a club or in a group or that you play a musical instrument or something. They want to see that you do something that you're a complete person, not just grades. Grades is not enough.
Yes,
Okay.
they're sure not enough.
Yeah.
So then I have some vocabulary questions.
Okay, sure.
What does reverse mean? Revert.
Revert or reverse?
Reverse, the second one.
Reverse means to go in a backward motion. So, for example, when you're in a car, cars have the button. The D button is for drive, meaning go forward, and the R button, to the R shift means to go in reverse, to go backward.
I get it.
Yeah. So
Oblivion mean.
oblivion is usually a word when we talk about. Let me do this for you. This will be easier. You can also get there's an app I use or a website you can use called thesaurus.com. A thesaurus is a dictionary of synonyms. So if you look up the word oblivion, for example, it will say it has many different meanings, but it could be neglect or amnesia or carelessness or disregard or forgetfulness. And it also has another meaning of darkness or extinction or limbo or blackness or eclipse, or there are many different words for it. The definition itself means the state of being completely forgotten or unknown. So, for example, if... let me think of a good example. Like maybe in some space movie, right, with aliens, and the aliens come and they destroy this city with some new crazy weapon they have, and the city is completely gone. It's been blown into oblivion.
I get it.
Like you have no way of seeing that's not even there anymore. It's just, it doesn't even exist anymore. It's gone. So oblivion can also be related to the word oblivious, which means to be very forgetful or very unconcerned with things. If I say he's really oblivious, it means he doesn't pay attention. He's not looking around. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Is it opposite mean of fame?
Is it an opposite meaning of fame? F-A-M-E?
Yeah. Fame, yes.
I wouldn't say it's an opposite meaning. Fame is a word meaning fame is something like related to famous, meaning things that you do that people remember. So to have fame means people know you for something that you've done. But I wouldn't necessarily say it's related to oblivion. It's related in the sense that people who are famous are people you know well because of the deeds they've done, and oblivion would be things that you don't know because they're not there anymore or they're very unknown. But I wouldn't necessarily connect those as an opposite. Yeah.
And what does suffer mean?
To suffer
Yeah.
means to feel pain or some kind of anguish, some kind of bad feeling, right? So we usually connect those words, pain and suffering, right? So, for example, in court, let me write this for everybody here, thesaurus.com. If you're in court and you're suing somebody because they did something bad to you and you want some money from them, the money that you get is for your pain and suffering. It means somehow the damage they caused to you, whether it's mental pain, mental suffering. So suffering can be both physical or mental, right? It could be something you feel like if your father dies, then you're that's a form of suffering. You feel pain, about the loss of someone, right?
Yes.
Or if you're in a terrible job that you hate for a long time and there's no way out of it, then that's another kind of suffering, right? So suffering is the act of going through anything that's difficult, right?
Yes. And blank mean? Could we say your mind is blank?
Sure. Blank means completely empty. Yeah, completely empty. So, for example, in English, sometimes we have exercises called fill in the blank, which means, I give you a sentence and there's one word missing. There's a space there. That space is called a blank.
Blank.
Or sometimes if you forget a word, you could say, my mind is blank. I can't remember.
Yeah. So, what's the difference between blank and empty?
They're synonyms, but they're used usually for different things. Empty means some kind of container that is not filled with anything, right?
Yeah.
In some way, like an empty mind would mean your mind is the container and it has nothing in it. An empty glass would be a glass that has nothing in it. But when I'm describing the fill in the blank sentence, I could say, do you see the empty space? That's where you have to put a word. So empty and blank can be synonyms sometimes.
I get it. So, what's the difference between freedom and liberty?
That's a good one. And I just remember reading a little example of that. Well, let me do two things here for you. I want to show you. So freedom, liberty is the state of being free within a society. So liberty is usually what we talk about when we're talking about political things. Liberty, right? So to the ability to speak freely or act freely is liberty, right? So liberty is a kind of freedom, right? Freedom is more general, okay? So liberty emphasizes the importance of individual rights and the limitations of government power. That's when we talk about liberty. But freedom is just focused on the ability of individuals to pursue their own interests or so, for example, if you're in jail and then you get free, that's what we say. You're now free. I'm free. I'm free. I can go do whatever I want now. I'm free. So you were contained in some way. You were limited in some way. You didn't have your freedom. But you could, now they let you out. Now you're free. You have freedom, right? So freedom and liberty are related. Now, this is a good time to look at etymology. The word liberty comes from the Latin word liber. Let's see. Latin word libertatum, which means civil or political freedom, the condition of a free man, absence of restraint or permission. So again, sometimes liberty and freedom could be synonyms, but in general, the difference is freedom's more general and liberty is usually more speaking about some sort of political freedom.
You get it.
Okay. The word liberty comes from the word liberal, which in this case, let's see. Let me read for a moment here to remind myself. It comes from the Latin word liberalis, meaning noble, gracious, munificent, and generous. So basically, the word freedom, liberty, comes from the idea of freedom pertaining to or befitting a free person. So, yeah. So again, the original meaning of liberty is freedom, but freedom most often was a word that was used to describe more general restraint, but liberty is usually used to describe some sort of political restraint.
I get it.
Okay.
And last two questions.
Mhm.
The first one, precisely mean?
Precisely.
Precisely in this point, like.
Yeah, it means very carefully. Very, very specifically and carefully. So if I answered very precisely, it means I gave a very specific answer, not a very general answer. The opposite of precisely would be very generally or imprecisely, meaning without care, without precision. So here's another one that's good to look up the etymology. Precise. Let's see. It comes from the Latin word precisus, meaning abrupt, abridged, or cut off. So, let me see. Pre means before, and sidere means to cut. So, let's see. One moment. Oh, so think about it like this. The word precise means to cut something or shorten something carefully, right? The original meaning means that you're cutting something and you're not cutting it without care, like let's not care, let's just cut the bread and who cares how big the piece is. No, you're cutting it precisely. So you're cutting something where you know exactly where you want it to be. And pre means before, and sidere means to cut. So it's like you're cutting before this point only.
Yeah.
I'm using something called etymonline.com. Etymonline is another app I like to use, or website I like to use. And it's an etymology website. It's only for those who have pretty advanced English, though, I think. If you have intermediate to advanced level English, you can start looking at this. And it can be very, very useful for helping you to understand the meaning of words, the original meaning of words, the spelling of words, the pronunciation of words, lots of things. Okay?
Yeah. And the last question is, what's the difference between flatter, praise, and compliment?
All related. So, to praise someone is to tell someone something good about them. Okay? Flattery is often a word that means more like you're saying something to someone in an attempt to get them to like you. Right? And what was the last one? Compliment? Compliments and praises are pretty similar. Those are similar words. I could usually use those interchangeably. You know, he gave me great praise. He gave me a great compliment. So a compliment is a more precise a more precise form of praise. Praise is in general. So if I say he gave me a lot of compliments, he's giving me a lot of praise.
I get it.
So praise is almost like a uncountable form of compliments. Compliments you can count. He gave me 5 compliments. You can't count praise. Praise is an uncountable form of that word.
I get it.
Okay?
So thank you for today.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And yeah, like Islam here was talking about the word biodegradable. If you know that word, bio means life. Degrade means to break down. So biodegradable things are things that can be broken down into organic components, right? So plastic is not biodegradable, but, you know, like a tissue or a piece of paper is biodegradable, right? And that's, again, that's etymology.
Yeah.
It was an advantage I had when I took that class in Latin. I didn't do well in that class, but from that point on, I did very well on vocabulary tests.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah.
I will search about it.
Okay, great. Well, good luck to you. And again, Jack, your English is excellent. At 15, I thought you were like 30. So,
Yeah, I
So-
just started to learn 2 years ago,
Wow. That's very impressive.
and I really started to study hard maybe 2 months ago.
Good for
I
you.
really wanted to speak to fluent people, but I cannot find them because all of them need to payment.
Yeah, well, there's definitely that. If you want to get a teacher, then yeah, usually you have to pay them. I mean, but that's different than just speaking to just a native speaker. But follow my live streams here in my voice rooms and go to my website. Also, here's my website, and then here is my YouTube channel. And my YouTube channel has a lot of recorded videos, just like the one we're making right now. And so if you missed any of my answers, you can go back, and this video will be uploaded later today on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then you can review it. But there are dozens and dozens and dozens of other live streams that I have I have about 66,000 followers, so people ask me questions all the time, and I answer them. And there's every question you can imagine about English in there that might help you.
All right. And
Okay.
thank you again.
You're welcome, Jack. Good luck to you, my friend. I'll see you next time, okay?
See you.
Bye-bye. 15. Wow. That's pretty amazing. His English is great. Okay, let me make sure I didn't miss any comments, and I'll try to get somebody else up on the stage here. One moment, everybody. Let me review some comments. Do I support shadowing to learn a language? Nora, I do, but you have to shadow the right person, okay? If you want to shadow somebody, shadowing means to watch what somebody else does and try to do what they do. That's called shadowing, okay? But you have to find a good model to shadow yourself after, okay? If you're shadowing just anybody, no, that's not good. Find somebody who speaks really well and shadow them, okay? Hello, Mahmoud. What am I up to, Islam? I'm just doing my job like I normally do. Good to see you again. You're welcome, Justin. Hello, Nature Smile. Hello, Lis Huge is that Laos? I think that's Laos. Good to see you. Hello. Will I play drums today? I don't know. I wasn't planning on it. Hello, Maria. Good to see you. You're welcome. You're welcome, everybody. Okay, let's see. So the website that I was talking about was thesaurus.com and etymonline.com. Okay, I put them in the chat there. Thank you, Maria. I'm glad you like my hat. 你听不懂吗？试试看，你可以。你需要练习，你的耳朵需要练习。他的英文很好，所以我觉得我们的说话就是一点难。可是有时候我说简单的英文，有时候我说一点难的英文。OK， 难一点，没关系啊。OK。听 okay, it's okay. You can understand some of it. Okay? You can't understand all of it, but you can understand some of it. And that's good. All right? He was very advanced. Okay? 他的英文非常好。所以我们说难的英文。Okay? This is my job. I am a teacher. Okay, let's talk to Noradine. I'll get to you in just a minute. Let me talk to Mai in Vietnam. Hello, Mai. Xin chào.
Hello. Thank you for having me here. How are you today?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm so-so.
You're so-so. Why are you so-so?
Nothing good, nothing bad, I guess.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And where are you in Vietnam? What city?
I'm from the north. And I live in a small village. It's not a city.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. What is it close to?
Sorry, what?
What is it close to?
It's close by the capital, I guess.
Okay.
About more than 60 kilometers.
Okay.
And yeah, it's about my province. It's just a very small province. And
Okay.
I think
That's
no one,
okay.
Yeah, no one
But guess
know
what?
about it.
If you tell people about it, then maybe they'll know about it. So what's it called? What's your small village called?
You want to know about it?
Yeah, sure.
No, Quang Ốc. That's it.
What's the name?
Quang Ốc.
Guan Up. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's okay. Look, my city's not that famous either. Most people don't know my city, but that's okay.
Yeah. It's not well known for anyone really.
That's okay. That's all right. The more you talk about it, the more well known it becomes. So what can I do for you today?
I want to ask about I used to talk with some foreigner before,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I'm start to learn English not very long time, and some people they talk about idioms and phrasal verb, and this thing is really difficult for me, and I just want to know that do you think that if I talk to other people, it will be better if I use phrasal verb and idioms more than the way I talk right now. Like I'm a beginner, so most of my vocabulary is very basic, and yeah, kind of like. Do you think that is it better for me to use some complicated word or like phrasal verb or idioms to because some host said that if I talk like this, it seems like I'm just a 5 years old children just start to learn.
No.
How do you think about it?
I disagree completely. I very rarely use idioms here. I very rarely use phrasal verbs here. And I'm an English teacher. It's my job. Simple language is almost always the best way to speak.
Oh,
Do you know
So,
who
like-
Albert Einstein said if you can't explain it simply, then maybe you don't understand. And language is like music. When you play music, You play what's appropriate for the song. You don't just play something that's difficult because you know how to do it. That's not how music works, right? So I'm a drummer, and I know how to play a lot of very difficult things, really complicated things, but when I'm playing a simple song, do I start using those difficult things just to do it, just to show people that I know? No. So language is like that. You should use the language you need to use at the time. Now, can you learn phrasal verbs and idioms, and is that good to learn? Sure, of course it is. And yeah, you can start to try to add them to your language, but there's nothing wrong with speaking simply. If the content of your language is much more important than the vocabulary, meaning you can say beautiful things with simple language. For example, to be or not to be, that's the question. That's Shakespeare. That's very simple. Very, very simple. Do you know that? That's from a very famous old play from Shakespeare. Do you know who Shakespeare is?
No.
Shakespeare is a British, an Old English writer, an author, a composer. Well, not composer. He was a playwright. He wrote plays, famous plays. And a lot of his language is still used today, and a lot of his language is very simple, like that. So there's nothing wrong with the way you speak now. I will tell you one very simple trick that I think you should start with, though. Vietnamese language. I don't speak Vietnamese, but I've listened to Vietnamese a lot. And Vietnamese is a very short, sharp-sounding language. Every word comes out sounding very separated and short and sharp. And so when Vietnamese people speak English, they tend to speak the same way. So everything comes out sounding like this. Everything's very separated. You need to start to learn how to connect your words more like a song, like singing. Okay?
Yes.
That's one of the things that he might have been referring to that. Who was it that you talked to that said that? What was it, a teacher or just a native speaker?
A native speaker.
Okay. But he wasn't a teacher.
No, not a teacher.
Okay, well then he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Okay.
I'm a teacher. I've been teaching for like 30 years. I know what I'm talking about. And he's also probably not familiar with Vietnamese language. And again, there's a difference in the rhythm of Vietnamese language compared to English. And so almost all Vietnamese speakers of English, they speak with this very short, sharp sounding English. Everything comes out like this. Very short and separated and sharp. And that's just because your language is like that. And that's part of the difference between English and Vietnamese is the rhythm of the language. So what I would suggest is when you speak English, try to speak more like you're singing, where the words are longer and they're connected. Okay?
Yeah, I know about it. Like each country have their own opinion, their own problem when they learn English.
That's exactly right.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is one that I noticed about Vietnamese is just that it's a rhythm difference. It's a big rhythm difference. And one of my Vietnamese followers, he explained it to me that the way the Vietnamese language works is that everything is one syllable. And that's why everything comes out short and sharp sounding. But English words have multiple syllables. So if you want to sound more smooth, then you need to pull the words, pull them. Make them longer. Yeah. And then think about like music, like singing. When you speak English, try to make the words more like a song. Okay? And but the idioms and phrasal verbs, I would say don't worry too much about phrasal verbs. If you want to learn some phrasal verbs, try learning them in groups. like there are many phrasal verbs that use the word get. Okay, so
Yeah.
you can find all the phrasal verbs that use the word get up, get off, get in, and try learning those together, right? And just use a few each week, not too many, just a few. It's better to try to just do a few and learn a few each week. And the same thing with idioms. There's a good website for idioms. Let me find it here.
Yeah. Yeah, I also wonder about it. Like before, some foreigner they just post some moments, and they said about some idiom. But I think that is the very outdated idioms, like raining cats and dog or break a leg. And I don't think that anyone uses right now.
They do actually. No, those are still used. Raining cats and dogs is actually very common still. If it's raining very hard, then yeah, we might say it's raining cats and dogs out there. Yeah, it's still used. Yeah, and what was the other one you said?
Break a leg.
Break a leg. That's still used too. Break a leg is an idiom that comes from being a performer. Right? So if you get on stage to do a performance, like you're going to sing on stage in front of a bunch of people, people used to think it was bad luck if you say, "Hey, good luck." so they wouldn't say good luck. They would say break a leg, and it means good luck. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I just gave you a site called theidioms.com. It's a big idiom dictionary where you can learn lots of idioms there. Okay?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
I take a screenshot yet.
Okay? So
Yeah.
your English is fine. Your English is fine. Yeah.
It's fine. It's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
I speak simply, and I think simple language is the best language. I don't see the point of using big words. I know big words, but I just don't see the point of using them when a small word gets the job done.
Yeah, I feel it. Because I used to talk with some foreigner before, and I tried to use some phrasal verb or idioms, but but they don't understand. So it will take me more time to explain about it. And after that, I quit. I just quit. Yeah, maybe if I talk with a native, they can understand. But for other foreigner, when they don't understand you, the goals of communication is
That's right. That's exactly right. The goal of communication is understanding, expression.
Understanding.
Right. Not perfection. And it's not just to use something you know. Simple language spoken well is always better than complicated language spoken poorly. That's okay. Don't worry. That's all right.
Yeah. My
So
mom.
that's okay. That's all right. That's okay. Let me just say that point one more time for everybody. Simple language spoken well is always better than complicated language spoken poorly. That's a lesson from music. Simple music played very well is always better than complicated music played poorly. Okay? So simple language is good. I'm a teacher. I know what I'm talking about. Okay?
Yeah.
So have
That's why
so
I'm
have
here.
confidence.
And I
Have
wanna ask
confidence.
some-
Yeah, you're
you know.
fine. You're doing great. You're doing great. Keep learning. Keep building your vocabulary. But remember, vocabulary is not just something that you use just because you know it. Use it when it's the time to use it. Okay?
Yes, and remember to take an advice from right person.
That's right. Yeah. Remember that just because you're a native speaker doesn't actually mean you're an expert in English. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can speak. It doesn't mean that they can teach.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah. Okay. Mai, do you have any other questions for me?
Oh no, it's enough for today.
Okay.
Really, yeah, I appreciate that.
No problem.
Have a nice one.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye. All right. Let's see. Hello, Gunter. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Let's see. Oh, I didn't have time to get to, let me see if I can still get her here. Are you still here? Are you still here? Considering? Let me see if considering is still here. Maybe not. Considering is not here. Maybe the time limit was taken up. Well, sometimes I don't get enough time to get to you. I'm sorry. Hello, Eric. Hola. Yeah, break a leg means good luck. Yeah, it actually is a phrase that comes from acting a long time ago. All right. That's right. The goal of language is communication, not perfection. Okay? All right. I'm going to talk to Noradine because he's been waiting. And then Nayon, did you raise your hand, Nayon? Raise your hand and I'll try to bring you up, okay? Hello, Noradine. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Hi, my friend. Hello, my friend.
How are you, my Moroccan friend from another mother? We say my brother from another mother. How are you?
Yeah, it's very difficult, this one, to understand.
It's a rhyme. It's a rhyme. It's a fun one we say to people. If we really are close to somebody, then we'll say, this is my brother from another mother. So it's a brother from a different mother. It's my brother from another mother.
Yeah, the same. So I'm really distributed in the big world. We have a lot of information. We have a lot, but I really enjoy,
Okay, well, good. Yeah. So how's your English going? What's new?
Yeah, I think so. In the couple months ago, I'm really easy. To be honest, I'm really lazy to practice my English with the people and talk and making communication because, we have my thesis, I want to learn programmation, I want to learn English. I want to be more focused because, big word, big information, a lot of things, but we enjoy to do many things together at the same time.
Yeah, well, at your level, you need to be trying to do advanced English, and that's a bit harder to push yourself to do. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, but I want to now, the really interesting thing, I'm really focused to how to can make research paper in high level with an academic English is more important.
Well, the best advice I can give you about that is, listen to the traffic and the best advice I can give you is you should read as many academic papers as you can. Read.
Yeah.
When you read academic papers, you can really see, like, this guy writes really well, and you'll learn the way academic language is used, okay?
Yeah, I discovered something that was very important in this month. If you learn a lot of things, so you give you some confidence. We have like a big mind, many information. But if you still, for example, watching some video there and watching a lot of things, it is not sufficient like reading. Reading, you give you some confidence.
It does, yeah. At your level, especially, when you get to be an advanced level, one of the best ways that you can improve your language is by reading. The more you read, the more vocabulary you're going to gain, the more understanding of different ways to use the language, different sentence structures, and different creative ways to use the language. And so, but you should read many different kinds of things. You should read novels, fiction. You should read nonfiction, books about history or science or, anything like that. Or academic papers, academic articles, academic journals. That they're all different, right? So read as many different things as you can so you can understand the ways that language can be used. Okay?
And another thing I really interested about it, you say many times ago, because I'm watching your live stream, every way is good or the best way to learn it.
That's
It's more
exactly
important.
right. Yeah, it really is. Yeah, it's not just English. Anything that you want to learn, whatever you want to learn, why are you limiting how you learn it? Get every tool that you can, you know? Like, it's kind of like if you want to be a carpenter, right? You want to be a carpenter, you want to build things, right? Do you want to only have a
Yeah.
hammer? No, you want to have a hammer and you want to have nails and you want to have a saw and you want to have a ruler and every tool that you can have to be a carpenter you should have, right? So learning is the same way. If you want to learn something, get everything that you can get to help you. Not
Yeah.
just one thing. Learning is not a process of efficiency. You know, some people,
Yeah,
they
for
try to
sure.
be efficient when they're learning. I'm sorry, but that's not how learning works. Your brain is a complicated machine. It wants as much information as it can get in as many ways as it can get it.
But then I think an important thing, you want to control your machine in the right way, because we have a lot of things, to be honest,
That's true.
coming
That's
from
true.
internet, coming from your computer.
That's true. You do, but that's just a matter of discipline. That's a matter of discipline, right? Like, that's like when people say, my kid uses their phone too much. My kid uses their phone too much. It depends on how they're using it. I think you can let the kid use the phone as much as they want if they're using it in a disciplined way to learn, to gain new information, to do good, positive things. That's good. If they're just using it to play a stupid game, then yeah, limit that. Limit that, you know? A little bit of relaxation is okay, but distraction is not that good, you know? So, that's why I'm saying when you're learning, some people, they say, well, I don't learn well this way, so I'm not going to do that. I only learn well this way. I learn best by reading, so I'm not going to write or speak. But that's not how learning works. Even if it's not the best way, even if it's not the way you learn the best, it's still something you can learn. Right? So some people say, well, I'm a visual learner. I need to see it. I'm a visual learner. Okay, fine. You're a visual learner. That doesn't mean you shouldn't try to learn in the other ways. That's the way they used to teach us, that visual learners should learn visually. No, that's the way you're best. That's the way you learn best. The way your brain is most designed for. But that doesn't mean you can't learn the other ways. And there's a lot of benefit from forcing yourself to learn the other ways. Yeah.
I think my point of the view focus about problem. Which problem, for example, I want to solve, which problem, which thing I want to improve, and then we can use, for example, a different methodology, a different techniques, and then.
That's right. Yeah. That's why I always tell people, make a plan. Make a plan, make a plan, make a plan. Whatever it is that's a problem that you have to solve, you need a plan to solve it. And then you need to figure out, okay, what techniques can I use to help me do this thing? Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I apologize, my internet's not good, and sometimes
That's okay. That's all right, man.
frozen.
That's all right. And it's interesting sometimes to hear the one of these days, I really want to come to Morocco just because I want to see that vibrant street life where everybody's honking their horns.
No, just come in here and maybe in we have a World Cup World Cup. Come in. I know you don't like football, but you want to shoot to come in here.
Yeah, it's not. I'm just not a sports guy. I'm just not. I'm so busy that I don't have time for things like sports. So I just don't spend a lot of time on it. It's not that I don't like it. Yeah, I did when I was younger. I played sports when I was younger, but the older I get, the more I just don't have time for it, and I find relaxation in other things.
Oh,
Yeah. So, but yeah, World
yeah.
Cup, sure. I would
But
like to come there
in
sometime.
2030,
2030? Is
you
that
want to
when?
come here and
Okay.
yeah,
2030. All right. I'll see if I
yeah.
can. All right.
You come in here,
I'll make a plan.
or maybe you can come this year or next year.
I'd like to, man. I really would. Yeah, I'd like to. I was just talking about trying to
Yeah.
figure out my plan to come
This-
to Europe.
Now, you want to really focus about this one. Really, really.
Like I said, if I
It's really
can,
interesting.
if I can
thing you
come
want
to Europe, then I'll try to see if I can go to Morocco too, because it's not too far. It's not too far. So I would like to go to
No,
Morocco.
it's close. If
Yeah.
you come in Spain and
Right. I'm planning to go to Spain, so that's why I'm thinking if I go to Spain, I'm going to try to see if I can go to Morocco too. Yeah.
you show your the tagine and couscous and everything, really nice.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah. And it'll be nice to meet you finally.
Okay. Okay, you see a family, you see a culture, we see a different thing here, and we give you some tea. Tea is very interesting thing
I
here.
know. Yeah, I'm aware. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, Noradine, I'm going to let you go and see if I can talk to a few other people, but it's always good to see you, my friend. Thank you for coming again, and keep working on it. Keep
Thank
working
you
on it.
for-
Academic English is really hard, man. You've got to really put some time into it, and you have to be disciplined to do that level of English. It's very difficult. Okay?
I want to do and believe this kind of the
I know you can. I know you can. So just keep it up, all right, my friend? I'll see you next time, okay?
Thank you, my friend, and see you later.
All right, take care, brother. All right. Hello, Jesus. Good to see you. Wow, we still have the audio. What is going on? Why do I?
Live stream, you want me to stay here?
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong. Why is it still there? I took you off I took you off the stage, but you're still on. What is going on? How strange.
Okay, I want to go out by myself and then
Yeah,
solving this
try
one.
to see if you can leave the room, because I tried to remove you and I guess it didn't. That's weird. I'll have to tell Hello Talk there's something
Okay.
weird. Ah, there he goes. There he goes. That was weird. Okay. Let's see. You're back home, Gunter. It's snowing in Berlin? Wow. How was your trip, Gunter? How was your trip? Okay, is Nayon still here? Nayon, are you still here? Let's find out. Nayon. No, Nayon is not still here. If you don't have patience, then you can't come on my stage, you know? Yes, I'm American Freedom. 我是美国人. What is hype? Hype is a word that means, well, it's usually a slang term. It's kind of a slang term that means to talk about something a lot, to make something seem really exciting is to hype it up, right? That's actually a phrasal verb, like a slang phrasal verb. If I say there's a lot of hype about this thing, it means there's a lot of talk, exciting talk about this thing. Like there's a lot of hype about this new movie coming out, Okay. Logan Nathan, almighty is an easy word. It means almighty. Mighty means powerful. So almighty means very powerful or all powerful. Okay. You're a thief who steals with his ears and eyes. Me too, Gunter. Hello, Layla. What about Egypt? Maybe Islam. I don't know if I can make it this time. I don't know if I have enough money for all that, for all these countries. I'm trying to go to as many places as I can, but I'll see what I can do, Islam. I would love to come to Egypt and meet you, my friend. Okay, let's see. Hello, Franklin. Hola. Doesn't mean a lot of noise. No, Islam. I think you want to say there's a lot of, what's the word? One moment. There's a word I'm trying to think of and I can't think of it. Commotion is maybe a good word you could use. There's a lot of commotion. A lot of commotion. There's a lot of noise in the background. Okay, commotion. What does it mean by pouring 40? Yamu, where did you see that? I don't know what that means. I've never seen that. Ira wrote it there for you. Commotion. C-O-M-M-O-T-I-O-N. Commotion. It's a video game? I don't know what that means. Oh. Okay, I think I know what that means. Yeah. A 40 is a 40. 40 is a slang term for a 40 fluid ounce bottle of cheap beer, usually. Okay, so if you say I'm drinking a 40, it means I'm drinking a cheap big bottle of beer, right? And pouring 40 means sometimes people will pour a little bit of the beer out onto the ground as a tribute to somebody who died before, right? So maybe somebody who, you know, in your group of friends, or maybe your uncle or your father or something. So you pour out a little bit of liquor or alcohol as like a tribute to them. That's pouring 40. Okay. All right. Let's see. Do I have anybody else who wants to talk to me? How about Rami? Hello, Rami.
Hello.
How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. 1 second, I want to set up my iPad. I want to open the camera.
Okay, take your time.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are. Good to see you,
How's
my
it
friend.
going?
Yeah, and you're in Iraq, right?
Yes, I'm Iraq.
Are you in Baghdad or where?
Yeah, exactly. I'm from Baghdad.
Okay, great. So what can I do for you today, my friend?
I'm doing great. How things going there?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Weather looks like it's nice today. So that's always nice. It's spring now here. So the temperatures are starting to warm up and the trees are starting to turn green. And it's always a nice time of the year.
Yeah, great. Here in Baghdad, we are heading to the summer. So the temperatures incrementally become hot. So, yeah, unfortunately, we lost the spring.
Yeah, it's hot there. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's extremely hot. Yeah.
So what can I do for you? Do you have any questions for me or something I can help you with?
Yeah, actually, I do have a couple of questions regarding the writing.
Okay.
Um, I have seen a lot of videos that giving advice about how to write. There are different categories of writing: academic writing and writing stories, writing essays. But the thing is, I'm struggling with writing. I've tried a lot of strategies to write, like, let's say, every day a short essay,
Mm-hmm.
every day a short like story or about what I have done today,
Mm-hmm.
my activities. But when I come across with a topic, let's say something that I don't have a lot of knowledge about it would be very difficult for me. I don't know whether it's writing, it totally depends on the knowledge of individuals in order to know how to express what they have. Or I don't know, there's template to follow in order to like write anything that we can do, anything, any kind of topics. Yeah, I'm struggling with writing.
Okay. That's a
There's
good
any-
question. All right. So, in general, I would say that yes, your knowledge of things is going to be a very important factor in whether you can write about them, just like your knowledge of things is going to be an important factor as to whether you can speak about them. So, if you ask me to write an essay about microbiology, I'm going to be in trouble because I don't know a lot about microbiology. So what can I write about it? Like I can't write that much about it. That's not a subject that I'm very familiar with, right? So this is something that we often have to do in language is try to write about things that we're not that familiar with, especially if you're taking something like the IELTS test, the TOEFL test. Sometimes those questions that they give you, they'll give you a little paragraph about something and you have to try to comment on it in some way. And there are times when it kind of requires more knowledge than they're giving you, which is not really fair if you ask me.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a problem, is what I would tell you. This is true for everybody, even native speakers. Okay? That's the reason why I don't like the word fluent. People say the word fluent and they think it means like there's a point where they know how to speak about anything. And that's actually what the word says in the dictionary. It says you're able to speak freely about things. Well, guess what? Nobody can speak freely about everything. Again, I don't know about, astrobiology or microbiology, or I don't know about those things. So how can I speak about them? I can't. I know about a lot of things, but not everything. So, you're on the right track when you're trying to practice writing as many ways as you can. Writing a diary is really good. Like you've been doing. A diary is great because, especially for beginners, if you're out there and you're trying to work on your writing, a diary is one of the best things you can do because a diary is writing about your feelings, what you did today, your goals, your dreams, anything. It's basically your thoughts on paper. And the great thing about that is when we speak too quickly to make corrections. But when you write, you can go back and look at it and see, oh, I'm making this mistake and I'm making that mistake all the time. And you can start to really perfect your language. So it's a really good way to really find the common errors that you make in language often, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then the next thing you're doing is the other thing I usually suggest, which is that you should write every form of writing you can do. So write a short story, write an article, write a magazine article, write a journal article, an academic article, write a restaurant review, a movie review, write a poem, write a song. Anything that you can write is something that's good practice. Now, the next step to that is reading. Reading is the flip side to writing. Okay, so reading and writing are two sides of the same coin. Okay, if you want to know how to write well, then you should read people who write well. Those are your models, right? Just like if you want to know how to speak well, listening is the flip side to speaking. So you have to listen to people who speak well, and then you can learn how to speak well yourself, right? If you read people who write well, then you'll learn how to write well yourself, right? So, and this is why I tell people you have to be selective. Don't just listen to anybody, and don't just read anything. Just because you can write doesn't mean you write well. Just because you can speak doesn't mean you speak well. And lots of people go on the internet and they go on YouTube and they, just watch some guy. Well, some guy doesn't always speak really well. You got to find people who are good models, right? So I try to teach people that it's like when you learn a musical instrument. If you learn to play the piano, they don't tell you, hey, you should listen to everybody in the world who plays piano. No, they tell you should listen to the people who play really well, and those are your models to try to sound like them. So your voice is an instrument. Your language is an instrument. So you have to find people who use that language well and use them as your models for your writing or your speaking. Okay? So what I would say is, again, you're on the right track. I think you just need to do more of it. And always remember to focus on your weaknesses. Students always focus on their strengths because those are the things that make us feel good when we do them. But learning is supposed to feel hard. Learning is climbing a mountain. That's why when you're not learning, we call that plateauing. A plateau is a flat area of land, right? So when you learn in the beginning, and you're learning everything in the beginning, and you learn with great leaps, everything's coming fast, and you're like, wow, this is great. But then you reach a point where you feel like you're just like this, right? That's called plateauing. And that's when you know you're not getting any better. And the secret of getting through a plateau is to start, one is to focus on your weaknesses, and two, to reapproach language in a different way than you've done before. So you keep looking at it the same way. You keep doing it the same way. You've got to find a different angle to come at this language, something that you've not been doing before. That is how you get through those things, right? But it sounds like you're at a pretty advanced level. So I would say that, at some point in time when you reach an advanced level, you can't expect it to come in great leaps anymore. It's going to come in small pieces. You'll make small advances, and that's okay. They're small advances, but they're small advances of very difficult things. So they have more value,
Yes, for sure.
So, but it sounds like you're doing great, man. Your English sounds great.
Thank you. In terms of speaking, speaking and listening, they are both like familiar for all the whole world, for even beginners, or they haven't even heard about English, because there are movies, music, stories, everything, but no one has tried to hold a pen and write. So writing, is not common for everyone. For me, I've been practicing English long time ago, but I've never held a pen and write. So it's kind of a new practice for me.
Right. Well, then again, you're doing the right thing, because again, the best students are the ones who focus on their weaknesses, not on their strengths.
Yeah.
Learning is not an ego exercise. It's not something to make you feel like, I'm so great, look how easy this is for me. No, it's supposed to feel frustrating. If you're not feeling frustrated, you're not trying hard enough, and you're not working on your weaknesses. So if you know that writing is something that you haven't been doing much of, then that's great. Then you're doing the right thing. I will give you one more tip. There's a technology tool that you can use that is wonderful for writing now. AI. ChatGPT is a fantastic tool for helping you to improve your writing. Tell it what you want to do. So write your diary or write whatever writing exercise you're doing into ChatGPT and tell it, please correct my English and tell me what I did wrong and suggest what I could do better. And it will. That's a fantastic tool. It's like you have a permanent grammar teacher always around. That's new. Like, we didn't used to have that. You always had to go to a teacher to get that information. And of course, I think teachers will still be better, but it's the more you use it, the
ChatGPT
better.
before, yeah. Sorry for
No, go
the
ahead.
interrupt.
No.
I've used ChatGPT before, but the bad of ChatGPT is telling you like a robot sense. ChatGPT actually uses very, very advanced vocabulary writing.
But you can tell it to use
Yeah,
simple
sometimes
language.
I can-
Yeah,
I
it's
know.
the ChatGPT or AI. The key to using it successfully is understanding that you have to give it instructions about what you want it to do, and you have to be clear. So when I've used it sometimes to help me write posts, right? And I remember the first time I did it, you're right, it used a bunch of advanced language, and I was like, yeah, this isn't going to work. My students are not going to understand it, you know? So I said, okay, rewrite this, but using simple language and under 500 words or something like that. And it did, and it will. And maybe you need to correct it a little bit, or you need to, you know, adjust it a little bit, but it's a good starting point. It's a really good starting point. So it's not perfect, but it's pretty great. It's pretty great. It's a very useful tool that it can definitely improve your writing and your grammar a lot. And again, if you want to improve your vocabulary, you can tell it, you know, rewrite this, but use some bigger vocabulary words, or rewrite this with simple language, or rewrite this using more phrasal verbs, or rewrite this using more idioms, and it will.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, so you have to be creative and think about what instructions do you want to give it. If you give it the right instructions, it will be better. If you just say, please write something for me, then no, that's kind of too vague. It's going to do what it does without really any direction. But you have to treat it like you have to be very specific about what you want it to do.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah, I have no more questions, and thank you so much for your actually very precise answers. I have taken a couple of notes about what we are talking about. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, my friend. You're welcome. It was great to talk to you. And again, your English is excellent. Just keep working on it, man. You're doing fine. Okay?
Yes,
make sure you
thank so
follow
much.
follow and come back and see me again, okay? And make sure you follow my website too, AFIEC English. AFIECEnglish.com. That's my new website. Give me your email and I can keep in contact with you. Okay?
All right. Thank you so much.
All right, take care, my friend. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Let me get some comments over here on YouTube. Guys, I'm sorry I've been neglecting you today. Let's see. Hello, Maria. Good to see you again. Hello, Juan Jose. Recommend what movies to see and what series to see in English. Let's see. Juan Jose, one of the best TV series for learning English is still Friends. The TV show Friends. It's an old show from the 1990s, but it is still the most popular show in the world to learn English. It's still great. So I would say try using Friends as your TV show to watch for learning English, okay? And Maria, if you're a visual learner, that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm a visual learner too, and I used to think that you should focus on the kind of learning that's best for you, but I disagree now. I think you need to challenge your brain with every form of learning that you can do. Visual learning will just be the one that works best for you, but that doesn't mean the other forms of learning aren't good for you. Every form of learning is a good form of learning, okay? Don't limit your learning. Okay, we say, don't limit your challenge. Don't limit your challenges. Challenge your limits. Okay, don't limit your challenges. Challenge your limits. Okay. All right. Thank you, Yana. And yes, that's right. AFIEC English right here is my website. Or if you want to follow my YouTube channel, there's my YouTube channel. This live stream is on YouTube right now. So if you like the answers I'm giving, you can watch it later and review, okay? All right. Do I have somebody else who wants to talk to me? Jumana. Jumana, do you want to come on my stage? Hello, Jumana.
Hello. Hello, yes.
Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Salam, I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm pretty
Teacher
good.
Mark.
You're in Saudi Arabia. Where are you? Are you in Riyadh or Mecca or where?
Yeah, I am in Medina.
Medina. Okay. Okay, great.
Yeah.
What can I do for you today? How can I help you?
Can you ask me a question? And also, my brother want to talk to you.
Okay. You
My
want me to
little
just...
brother. Yeah, I want my little brother basic question in English.
Okay. Your little brother wants to talk to me also. Okay.
Yeah. My name of brother is Muhammad, and now he want to talk to you.
Okay.
Hello, my friend.
Hello. How are
Assalamu
you, my
alaikum.
friend? Wa alaikum assalam. How are you?
You know Arabic?
I know a little bit of Arabic, just a little. I know a few words. I can say Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam, shukran, afwan, na'am lah, inshallah, alhamdulillah, and merhaba.
Where are you from?
I'm from Ohio. It's in the middle of the United States.
Oh,
How you learn Arabic? كيف تعلمت عربي؟
how you learn Arabic?
I just learned a little bit by myself, just spoken Arabic. I can't write or read anything, but I just wanted to learn a few common phrases. So I know many common phrases in many languages.
بيعرف إنه بس عبارات ولا ناس.
Nice. Nice.
How old are you, my friend?
I'm 17.
17. Okay, great.
Yes.
What do you like to do for fun?
I go to my friend.
You go to where?
Go with my friend.
You go with your friend? Okay, and what do you do? Do you like to play football?
Play and football.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Great. Good.
We do everything.
Okay, that sounds good. All right.
Hang out.
And tell me, do you like any foreign foods? Do you like hamburgers or pizza?
Oh, I like you know brost
What
in
is-
Arabic. Brost,
Oh, I don't think I know that. What is that?
fried chicken. Fried chicken.
Fried chicken. Oh, I like fried chicken. I like fried
Like
chicken.
Kentucky.
Yeah, sure. Any kind of fried chicken I like, sure.
It's named brost in Arabic.
Ah, grost. Okay.
Brost.
All right. Brost. Oh, brost. Brost. Okay.
You know Arabic eat? Food, Arabic food.
I only know a little bit. A little bit. I know.
Like what?
Like I know, like in Morocco, couscous and tagine, and in I know some like kebabs and dolma and things like that. Yeah.
You don't know kabsa?
I do know kapsa. Yeah, I know kapsa too. Yeah.
Did you try it?
Did you try kabsa?
I have. Yeah, I have. There's a couple of restaurants in my city that have it. I've had it before. It's yummy.
You visit? What Medina country you visit?
I have been to Canada, and I lived in Taiwan for 4 years, and
I mean in Saudi. In Saudi.
in the Middle East. I've never been to the Middle East.
You should come.
You should come in the Saudi.
I would like to sometime. I would like to.
We wish thank you
Thank you for
your time.
your time.
You're very welcome, my friend. You're very welcome. And keep practicing your English, okay? Keep practicing.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Thank you, Teacher Mark, for
You're
your time.
welcome.
And my other brother want to talk to you too.
Oh, you have
Can
two.
you-
Okay. All right.
Yeah. My name is Mahmoud.
Hi,
Okay.
teacher Mark. How are you?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
Good.
What is your name?
My name is Mahmoud. Mahmoud Ghanam.
Okay, Mahmoud. Nice to meet you, Mahmoud.
Hey,
And how
nice
old
to
are
meet you
you?
too. I am 15.
15. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
And
yes.
do you like to play football with your brother?
Yes, sometimes. And play طائرة. Play and بالهاند
hand football.
hand football.
Hand football. What is that?
1 minute. Hand
Yeah,
football.
that's okay. You mean rugby? I think you mean rugby, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah,
1 minute.
that's okay. Take your time.
Yeah.
Maybe volleyball. It could be volleyball or handball.
Exactly.
Is it this one? The one you do like this?
You like this? Yes.
That's volleyball. That's volleyball.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Did you play?
Yeah, I've played volleyball a little bit. Sure.
Yeah.
What is your hobby?
What is your hobby?
I like to go hiking. I like to go hiking, and I like to go fishing.
Fishing.
Yeah. I like to catch fish.
Catch big.
Did you fishing a big fish?
Catch big.
Sure. Yeah. A few times. Yeah. Sometimes I catch fish and sometimes I catch nothing, but it's still good because I like nature. So I like to go out and it's very peaceful and quiet, and I can just be by myself while I go fishing.
What is the cost the fish of the big fish?
What is the cost? You mean if I want to buy one?
Yes. Yes.
That depends on what kind of fish. Let's see. I think I would say it's about maybe $10 for a fish.
$10.
Yeah, $10. It depends on what kind of fish you buy. Some fish are more expensive and some fish are cheaper.
Thank you, Mr. Teacher Mark.
You're welcome, my friend. You're welcome. I'll say
Thank you for your
Afwan.
time, Teacher Mark.
Afwan. So, and Jumana, how old are you?
I'm 26.
Wow, and you're the good older sister. That's good for you. You're helping your younger brothers and translating for them. That's wonderful. Good for you.
Yeah. I really want them to learn English and to speak English fluently.
That's great, and it sounds like your English is quite good.
Yeah, a little, not really good, but I'm trying to be more professional.
Okay, well, keep working on it. Keep working on it. It takes practice and time.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jumana, for coming on my stage and letting me talk to your two brothers. That was great. And make sure you follow and come back and see me again, okay?
Yeah, also, my brothers will follow you. They will make a new account and will follow you. Inshallah.
Yeah, and on my YouTube account, if you go to my YouTube, there are many, many videos they can watch, just like this one. And they can listen and learn more English tips. You too, okay?
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome, and take care. And it was nice to meet you and the rest of your family. Take care. I'll see you
Maybe
next time, okay?
I will bring my dad.
Sure, that'd be great. I would love to meet your dad.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, well, take care, Jumana, and I'll see you next time, okay?
Okay, inshallah. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, let's see. What time is it? It's 11:30. Let me check my time. Okay, I've got about 15 minutes left here. Ooh, wow, look at all the people who want to speak to me now. There's Considering. Considering came back. Let's talk to Considering. She was waiting a long time ago. Hello, Considering.
Hello, Mr. Mark. So nice to talk with you.
Do you want me to turn off your camera?
Yeah, sure. Just turn off my
Okay.
cameras.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And do you have an English name? Neo England Ningsma.
Yeah, you can call me Isabella.
So Isabella. Okay, Isabella. So how can I help you today, Isabella?
Um, I really don't have any specific questions, but I want to ask you. Yeah, I do have one question. And recently I watched some videos on YouTube, and there is a YouTuber who come from your city, which is Cincinnati, Ohio, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And
Yeah.
her I mean her accent is very different from yours. How could it is that?
Well, that depends on where she comes from in Cincinnati. Do you know what her name is? What is her name? Maybe I can find out who she is.
His name is so complex. I couldn't pronounce her name.
Can you write it? Do you know how to write it?
Actually, I have sent you one picture about her.
Oh, you sent me a
YouTube
message.
ID.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
maybe
right.
last
Okay.
week.
I don't know if I saw that. Let me see.
Yeah, her name is so complex.
Let's see.
The spelling is also hard to.
Let me
Yeah,
see if I
because
can
if-
find your message.
Yeah.
Let's see. One moment.
She makes a lot of videos on YouTube, and I watched a lot. And I think, I have known you for 2 years, and your voice is so clear, and your accent is very standard. But her accent, I think, is really different.
Well, the area that I live in, there are many people who do sound like me, but it depends on what side of town you come from, and it depends on which side of the river you come from, too. So I live very close to the state of Kentucky. And so, yeah, KFC, if you know KFC, the K in KFC is Kentucky, Kentucky Fried Chicken. And so Kentucky is south of me. And all of the states that are south of me, those are considered the South in America, the Southern American states. And most people who come from those parts of the country, they have a slightly different accent. They have a Southern accent, we call it. Okay. And so I don't know where she comes from, but she might have a Southern accent or a little bit of a country accent, we call it. A country accent, which means...
I can show you now. I can use my another phone, and I can play.
Okay,
her
sure.
video.
Yeah, let me hear it.
I want to make it clear. I don't mean her accent is bad.
No.
She
Sure.
is.
Yeah, I understand.
I
It's
just
okay.
want to know why. How could it be? Because you guys live in the same city,
Yeah.
but the accent is really, really different.
I understand. No problem. Let me hear it.
Okay, thanks. I have to search it.
Take your time.
Oh, I found her. This one.
Woo! I am out of breath because I just ran, and in today's video, it is a beautiful day to be outside.
Okay, actually...
Hey guys, it's Arianita La Gringa. Woo! I am out of breath because I just ran, and in today's video, it is a beautiful day to be
Okay, I have
outside.
to turn it down.
Yeah. No, so her name, it sounds like she's maybe from another culture. Is she white?
Yeah, she's white
She's
and
white.
tall.
Okay.
She looks like a model.
Okay. It could be that she comes from another culture, but she's from here, right? And her accent does actually sound a lot like mine, but she just speaks a bit faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can understand her words when I watch her videos.
Well, so lots of people ask me this question when they come on my stream. They say, why can I understand everything you say, but when I listen to other people, I can't understand them? There are some important reasons why. One is because I'm a teacher. It's my job. It's my job to speak well. It's my job to speak clearly. It's my job to use language that everyone can understand. She called herself Arianita La Gringa. Oh, that's a Spanish nickname. That's a Spanish nickname. So Ariana is her name? But La Gringa, that means white girl, right? So she just chose, Miguel, did she just choose a Spanish nickname maybe?
Oh, maybe she is learning Spanish.
Yeah, that's possibly what it is. I think that's probably what it is she just, because gringa is, I think gringo and gringa is a term that usually means like American, a white American usually. So, Tulek said she could be of Mexican origin or she might be of Hispanic origin. So she might have some, maybe she has some family from Mexico or some family from Guatemala or one of the other Spanish-speaking countries, right? So, but yeah, her name is a nickname and it's a Spanish nickname. That's why it's difficult.
Yeah, so even I have watched her videos a lot, but I still couldn't pronounce her name.
Yeah, that's why, because it's a Spanish name. Yeah, Arianita La Gringa. That's what she said. So
Arianita La Gringa.
Yeah, Arianita La Gringa. Yeah, so
Arianita La Gringa.
Yeah, that's close. That's close. And so her again, because I'm a teacher, I do my best to speak very, very clearly and open my mouth a lot, and I use simple language. I do my best to pronounce things as well as I possibly can, okay? And I also slow down my speech just a little bit, not too much, but a little bit, okay? And then I use a really good microphone when I'm doing my live streams, which makes everything sound very, very clear. So those are the reasons why you can understand me better than you can understand most people, okay? Because I'm doing my best to be well understood. But most people, they're not thinking about their language. When she's making her videos, she's not thinking about foreign speakers, foreign people listening to her. She's just making videos for local native people. So she's not worried about if she's speaking too quickly. She's not worried if she's using language people might not understand. So that's why I always tell everybody that YouTube is great, but it depends on who you're listening to. Not everyone is a good model for you to learn from. Okay? And she sounds like she's very fun. She sounds like she's very energetic. And again, her accent is actually very similar to mine, but she just speaks more quickly. And again, it could be that she might have some Hispanic background, which means that she could have family that comes from a Spanish-speaking country. So maybe she was born here, but maybe her parents were born in Mexico or her grandparents were born in Mexico and she also speaks Spanish too, maybe. Or maybe she's learning Spanish and she's just trying to use that sometimes. So, but her accents actually does sound a lot like mine. It just she speaks very quickly.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And in her video, I learned that there is a backpack store in your city, and we don't have we don't have this kind of pet store in China.
Really?
That store is so big.
You mean, is it REI? Is that the backpack store?
I don't know, but she mentioned that it's the biggest pet store in Cincinnati, Ohio. Maybe it's a chain store.
What do they sell there?
the store they take care of the pets.
Oh,
They help cats to take a shower, and
oh,
they also
yeah,
sell
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of
Yeah, that is
snacks.
a chain store. Yeah, yeah, we have a few of those actually. One is called Petco, and there's another one called, what's it called? Yeah, we have a few of those. Yeah, we have a few of
Oh,
those. And actually,
I think that store is amazing.
my friend Miguel, he's Spanish speaking, and he said she does speak fast, but she actually does teach English. But native speakers, they usually don't understand that they need to slow down. So she's probably an English speaker, but she's never taught English in a foreign country, right? But I taught English in Taiwan for 4 years. And when I first moved to Taiwan, I also spoke quickly. But then I learned that I have to slow down and make my language more clear for the students and for everyone. And that's why I have many followers here, because people can understand me. So
Yeah, if you speak too fast, we will feel like we it seems like we never learned English at all.
yeah, but that's like the way I feel with Chinese sometimes. I often have to say, "Oh, 不好意思，请可以说慢一点吗?" I often have to say that because many times Chinese people, they hear my Chinese and they say, oh, wow, his Chinese is very good. And then they go, it's so fast I can't understand. So yeah, that's just language. Everybody, you should slow down. Slow down more, you know? Language has no speed. So you don't need to speak fast. And great speakers are not fast speakers. Great speakers are great speakers. There is no speed. So honestly, I think that the faster you speak, the less meaning your words have. So if you speak more slowly, you actually put more meaning into your words. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I have the same problem. I always try to speak faster.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But you don't have to. I don't speak fast.
Yeah, yeah.
All right? Good speech is good speech. It does. Again, I tell people, Isabella, it's like music. Is fast music the only good music? No. No. Slow music is good. Medium music is good. Sometimes fast music is good too. So language is like music. You don't always have to speak fast. You don't always have to listen to fast music or play fast music. Use the music that is good for expressing what you want to express. So, for example, if your child is running into the street and there's a car coming, that's not a time to speak slowly. Right? That's when you say, oh my God, please get my car. You speak quickly to try to get your child out of the danger, right? But if I'm trying to explain something to a classroom and it's a very important, serious point, then that's a good time to slow down. Okay?
Yeah, that's right.
So, you're doing fine. She just speaks fast. And now I have to find her. Maybe I can find her and I can go do a video with her sometime or something. I'll see if I can find her online.
Oh, okay. I also, Mr. Mark, I also think I'm so stupid.
No, you're not stupid. No. No.
Because
Well,
even I have been learning English for 2 years, but I still can't express myself friendly.
2
And
years
also,
is not a lot of time. Again, it's like learning a musical instrument. If your child has been playing the violin for 2 years, do you think they're going to sound really great? No. If somebody's been playing the piano for 2 years, are they going to sound really great? No. No, 2 years is nothing. Your voice is an instrument. It takes time. It takes time to become good. Okay, so 2 years is nothing. Don't worry.
Yeah, I started learning English 2 years ago, but it's been 1 year. It's been 1 year. I didn't learn English at all, but I just decided to learn again maybe 2 months ago.
Well, let me tell you, for only 2 years, your English is actually really good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 真的。
谢谢。
不客气。
Thank you so much, Mr. Mark.
No， 我觉得你说英文很好。So don't worry.
But I'm still understand the basic words.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. Simple language is good language. Simple language is good language. Okay? Don't worry. Everything good can be spoken simply, in my opinion. Okay? My Chinese is always very simple. Okay? But that's okay. I don't care. I don't care. I just want to be able to communicate with people. That's all right. Okay?
Yeah, I can't talk about something deeply.
Yeah, but that's difficult for anyone. Even in your native language, that's difficult, right? So start with just being able to express simple language, okay? And understand, Isabella, the more you think in English, the better, right? So every day I try to think in Chinese some, right? I can't practice speaking Chinese very often, but I think in Chinese often, okay? So, yeah, so 如果你看电视，你可以想英文；如果你做饭，想英文；如果你去商店，你想英文。你可以想他们有什么东西，这是太贵了，为什么这是好贵？这是买完了。Oh no, you know, just 简单的。Okay, so 你可以也想英文的。Okay? That's what I do, is just I think in Chinese as often as I can, and simple things, right? And think about your family, your friends, your work, your job, your hobbies, your interests. That's good enough. That's most of your life. Okay, that's most of your life is that. You don't need to think about politics or religion or philosophy. That's difficult stuff. You'll get there later. That's not 2-year English. That's 10-year English. Okay?
Yeah, because I met some people, they are so intelligent, and they only learn English for maybe 2 or 3 years, maybe even 1 year. They can speak English very well.
I don't know. I have not met many of them. I have not met many of them. Usually it takes a long time, but it's also not a competition with anybody else. Isabella, learning is only a competition with yourself.
Yeah.
Just try to be better than you were yesterday. That's the only competition. You can't compare yourself to other people because you are not them. Okay? So compare yourself to who you were yesterday. Try to be better than the person you were yesterday. That's all. You can't be better than the other person because you aren't them. Okay? You have your own path. Okay?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, I want to ask you, do you use Chinese in your real life?
Not often. Not often because I live in the United States, but sure, if I go to the Chinese restaurant, sometimes I'll practice my Chinese there. You know, like when I order some food, I'll try to speak Chinese with them a little bit, but not very often. No, just when I'm thinking. When I'm thinking.
You know, my son is learning English as well. He always asks me the question is, Mom, why I need to learn English and I don't have to use it.
Well, how old is he?
He is 6.5 years old.
Ah, okay. Well, then I'll tell you what. Use English more around him in the house. So maybe once a week, you'd have an English dinner. When you have dinner, speak English only for just that dinner, right? If your kid sees you using English, then they'll start to think English is more important. But if you never use English, then they're going to think English is not important. And at 6.5, they don't know why it's important yet. They don't know. So don't force it on them, but make it into a game. Make it into a game. So they don't have motivation to learn English yet because they don't know the reasons why it might be good for them or fun for them. But you can play games with them about it, right? So if he wants to buy, a snack, right? You can tell him, 如果你可以教我这个就是英文怎么说，我可以买这个。Okay, so you tell him, okay, if you can tell me how to say it in English, I'll buy it for you. Right, something
That's
like
a great
that.
way.
Just give him small motivations. Small motivations, like every time he wants to go out to play, ask him, how to say that game in English, or ask him about a simple thing like, what color is your shirt?
Yeah, sometimes we practice our English together, and I will ask him some questions like the simple question like just you mentioned.
Right, that's it. Just play a little game with him every once in a while. Just simple, right? But give him some sort of reward for it now, because he doesn't see why it's important yet, and he probably won't until he's a little bit older. So when you're young, then you have to just make it fun. Fun is the motivation. Okay,
Yeah.
so when I was teaching English in Taiwan, I taught English, and it was usually the age of maybe 5 to about 11 or 12, most of my students, right? And you have to play games all the time. It's games. So that's what you have to do too. Don't force it on him by telling him, well, this is very important for you because of your school. He doesn't care about that, But if you give him some candy and say, 你要糖果吗？你要吃糖果？你可以，如果你说英文，我给你。
Wow, you're really a great teacher.
Just things like that, like just make it simple. Okay? Isabella, you there? Uh-oh, did I lose you? What happened? Isabella, I think I may have lost you. Maybe the time limit hit you. I'm not sure. Well, Isabella, I'm going to let you go, but it was great to talk to you. So good luck with your teaching your child English. And just remember, keep it fun. At that age, you can't force it on them at that age. Just make it
Can
fun.
you hear me? I'm so sorry.
That's okay. There you are. I can hear you now. That's okay. We just lost you for a second. That's okay. Well.
I thought I have reached the time limit.
Okay. Well, that's good. Okay. Well, then we're done anyway. So make sure you come back and see me again, okay? And I'll see you next time.
Okay.
All right.
I will join your voice soon. I join your voice or live stream almost every night. Oh, every time when you open your live stream.
谢谢.
Oh, I'm kind of nervous.
No, don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. It's okay. I'll see you next time, okay?
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Mark. I like you so much.
Thank you very much. That's sweet of you. Thank you. Take care, okay? Bye-bye.
Okay. See you next time. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Thank you. You too. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that's what I thought, Miguel. Yeah, I thought gringo and gringa is basically just Americans. That's what I thought. Yeah. All right. I'm almost out of time, everybody. Let me see if I can just... Hello, Belen. Good to see you. Let me just try to get a few comments here. I do need to practice my Chinese more. My Chinese is pretty poor today, but that's okay. Okay, thank you, Melly. Hello, Adam. Good to see you. 马克的老师的中文 Yeah, well, it's not perfect, Tulek. It's not perfect. It's not very good, actually, I think. I just use it, just what comes to my mind. You know, just make it comfortable in your head, man. You'll be fine. Your English, I think your Chinese is better than mine, Tulek. Okay, let's see. And that's right, Mr. Mo. Learning a language is kind of like driving a car. When you drive a car, first you think about everything, but you have to make it happen naturally in your mind so that you don't have to think. Once you get to a point where you're not having to think about your language, you can use it a lot more easily, right? And that's right, kids generally do answer in the local language. Yeah, they often do that. That's right. Okay. Your daughter is learning all the time verbs and asking you the same questions. She says, I can speak Spanish. Why? She'll get there, Belen. She just needs to find some reasons. You know, you just need to remind her she lives in a very global world now. At her age, by the time she gets to be an adult, everybody is involved in the world now in some way. And English is the most common language to be used around the world in that way. So it might not be important to her yet because she might not see it yet, but she's going to eventually. And it will give her a big advantage, just a huge advantage. Anybody who knows that common language has a huge advantage. Okay? Hello, Sana. Hello, Sveta. Mr. Simo, I don't know if I have any more time today. It's been almost 3 hours, guys. Lana, I teach about interviewing. I teach about whatever you want me to teach you. Sure. Go to my website. Here's my website. Go to my website, sign up on my website, and you can see my prices for my lessons, okay? Please go to my website, and here's my YouTube as well. Okay, there's my YouTube. If you want to follow my YouTube, and go to my website and sign up and give me your email so I can follow you. You can follow me, I should say. I'll send you emails occasionally and let you know what I'm doing. Hola, Esther. Gracias. I'm glad that you like my class. She hates time verbs in Spanish, but not in English. Well, she's got a point, though, because Spanish, the time verbs are a bit more complicated, aren't they? And Tulek, actually, when I lived in Taiwan, I couldn't speak Chinese very well at all. The biggest difference it made is that I had enough time to listen to the language a lot. My ears picked up the sound of it and the pronunciation of it better. So, to be honest, it didn't help my speaking. My speaking got better when I got back here. That's kind of funny, but it's true. But it's just because I lived there and I'm a musician, so I have musician's ears. And so I heard it a lot, and it helped me to improve my pronunciation a lot more, and my tones, I think, a bit more, too. Okay? All right, Sana, I don't have time today. I'm about out of time here. It's been almost 3 hours. I need to take a break, and I have some work to do on my website and some other things to do as well. So please make sure you guys come back and see me tomorrow. I will have a voice room tomorrow. Okay, I'll have a voice room tomorrow. I do my live streams on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Okay, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday around 9 or 9:30 a.m. New York City time. Okay, and then my voice rooms, I don't have a schedule for those. I do them on Tuesday and Thursday, but sometimes it's in the afternoon, sometimes it's in the early evening. It depends on my busy schedule. But usually I do them on Tuesday and Thursday, okay? Belen, it's always good to see you. It's always good to see all my regular followers, Sana and Islam and Belen and Gunter and, Tulek. It's always good to see you guys here. I don't know. It's nice to have that kind of support when you turn on the camera and you see regular people who appreciate what you're doing enough that they come back every time. That's surprising. But I'm glad. Miguel, you too. And Maria, you too. And Juan Jose, you too. And everybody who comes to see me regularly, I appreciate it very much. I really do. And like I said, go to my website and you'll find my YouTube channel also. And on my YouTube channel, you can find lots of other tips. Watch my YouTube videos. There are lots of other tips there. And yes, I speak Chinese. Please kindly remind us of the 8 points you consider for learning a language. Reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking. Those are the 5 main ones, right? And then grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Those are the 8 points that I focus on with my students, okay? Reading, writing, listening, speaking. Those are the 4 that everybody knows about. And then thinking, which is that's what we call the linchpin, which means that's the most important one. If you don't have good thinking, then you can't have good reading, writing, listening, or speaking, okay? And then pronunciation, grammar, and vocabulary. Those are the 8 points that I focus on with my students, okay? All right, guys. Good night, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening, good morning, whatever time it is, wherever you live. That's right, my family of the world. So come back and see me tomorrow. Okay, come back and see me tomorrow. And thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for participating. Charles, you're a little late, my friend. I'm ending my stream. I've been here for 3 hours. Come back and see me tomorrow, okay? All right. Don't forget to be a language warrior. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.